everything up to my external hard drive. Okay, so I mean, if you want to zip it, you can. That's how you do it.
Let's see how to use Eclipse automatic backup files. Eclipse is very protective of your work. Every 5 seconds, it saves your editing to disk, so it keeps very little of your job in volatile memory. In addition, it creates up to 10 timed auto backup files at regular intervals. So here I have it set to create a timed auto backup file every 15 minutes while I'm editing. Let's say that I'm editing the Jody McQueen transcript. Perhaps I make a text global that would change every instance of the to a space. That would mess up just about every paragraph. Or perhaps I manage to somehow delete several pages of transcript. Well, I could close this job and go to the File Manager, select the Jody McQueen job, and use the Revert button. In the Eclipse Backups folder, I find as many as 10 BK files. The BK0 will be my newest backup file, and BK9 would be the oldest one. I'll select the BK0 file, press Open, and now I can close the File Manager, and when I reopen the McQueen file, I'm simply using a slightly older version, so the word "the" has returned in my transcript.
You see what it's doing right there? So this thing backs up all the time. This is really, really good because it happened to me. I mean, and I can't even remember, and it wasn't even that long ago. It was probably about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, and it messed up the whole thing. The whole job was messed up, and I don't know what it did. And I'm freaking out because I've got a deadline on this thing, and I'm almost done with it. So I call support, and it's like, you know what is going on? Blah, blah. He said, look, don't freak out. What we're going to do is revert. I didn't even know how to do it, whatever. So this guy sends me through it. He said, it's backing up all the time. And it does. It's backing up every 15 minutes. So it's pretty good. And you can set that thing to whatever you want. I don't know that I'd set it any more than that. It's not that big of a deal. So it's going to set it back to where you need it anyway, okay? So, and then it just reverts it back. So if you accidentally, go in there and you change all the these to every, initial T, you change it to translate. You know how many times the is in the transcript? A bunch. So it can mess up a lot of things, okay? So you have to be careful with what you're doing, but don't freak out that much about it because you can always revert it back, okay? And that's what it just told you right there. Y'all want to see it again? Okay. This thing is really, really good.
Every 15 minutes while I'm editing.
So it's under the edit, okay? And the time auto back 15. So I think it's already in there. So go in there to your user settings, which is what? Alt U. Go into edit and see what you have. 20? If you want to change it, you can. I mean, I'd leave it. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. It's really not.
Let's say that I'm editing the Jody McQueen transcript. Perhaps I make a text global that would change every instance of the to a space. That would mess up just about every paragraph. Or perhaps I manage to somehow delete several pages of transcript. Well, I could close this job and go to the File Manager, select the Jody McQueen job, and use the Revert button. In the Eclipse Backups folder,
and try it. Go to your File Manager, which is what?
Control F.
Huh?
Control
F. Control F. You got it? Pick a job, and then do revert. Highlight a job, don't check it like we were moving it, just highlight it and then revert. Does it open it?
Yeah, there's nothing in here.
Well, and it may not have been a long
It's a
job that you
tutorial.
did or whatever, so. But there's not anything in there? There's 0 files? Really? And it may be because we're in the tutorial too. You know, it may not be even a job that you really, you may not be doing it because we're in the tutorial thing, but that's, anyway, that's how you do it.
I find as many as 10 BK files. The BK0 will be my newest backup file, and BK9 would be the oldest one. I'll select the BK0.
So y'all get that? So it's not, this is the oldest. This is the newest. Okay, so you would think that, oh, well, this is the newest. I mean, because, no, pay attention to the times. Pay attention to the times, okay?
0 file, press open, and now I can close the file manager. And when I reopen the McQueen file, I'm simply using a slightly older version, so the word "the" has returned in my transcript, and the text that I had deleted is restored. Eclipse also protects your configuration settings files and your main dictionary. So again, if I go to the File Manager and click on the Backup tab, here are 10 DB files. These are dictionary backup files. And again, the DB0 is the newest version of my dictionary backup. Here are 10 UB files, user backup files, for my Keith 1 real-time settings. Every time you turn off Eclipse, it automatically creates a dictionary backup for you. It automatically creates a user settings backup. Having clicked on the Backup tab of the File Manager, I could now use the Explore button, which would open up Windows Explorer and go straight to my Eclipse Backups folder. I could then turn off the Eclipse program, but leave Windows Explorer on. Here's the DB0 file. That's the most recent backup of my dictionary. I'll right-click to change its name, change DBO to DIX. Pressing Enter, Windows now recognizes it as an Eclipse dictionary. And here's the most recent backup of my user settings. I'll right-click to change the name so that instead of ending with UB0, it'll end with INI, and then I'll press Enter, and now Windows recognizes it as a configuration settings file. Now I can move this configuration settings file into my Eclipse folder, and I can move the Keith dictionary into my jobs folder. Having done that, I could open up Eclipse, and I'd be using my restored settings, and I could open up my dictionary, which would be a restored copy. You should still make it a practice to back up your dictionary and your user settings so that you have these on an external medium. That way, if anything happened to your computer, you could still restore your main dictionary and your user settings.
That was a little technical. That's why I didn't stop it, because it's not, I don't know that you're going to understand even if I explain it, okay? And even the way that they explain it is a little technical too. But the guy sent me through this thing too. You know, we backed up my dictionary, and we're backing up all kinds of stuff and putting it on there and changing stuff or whatever, these little configurations. So if you ever get in a bind, a real bind about it, I mean, all you have to do is call support, and they're, I mean, these guys know it all, okay? But you do want to back up that dictionary, even the dictionary you have now, okay? So you should be backing up your dictionary. So if you don't have an external hard drive, I'd probably buy one. You know, they're not super expensive, depending on what you get and how big you want it. You don't really need it real big right now, but if something ever happens, you know, you're going to lose all of your stuff. So. You know what, guys? I think we're going to end here. Do y'all have any questions about what we went over? Any questions? No? Okay, bring your machines next week, because we're going to talk about speakers. We're gonna talk about
Okay.
setup and speakers and stuff like that. So we're gonna start messing with this stuff. So those of you that aren't here tonight, that are gonna watch the video, bring your machines on Monday, okay?
Great.
We'll see y'all on Monday.